Dear students, today we are going to learn chapter 15 Air and Water. Air contents are composition of air, fractional distillation of liquid air, air pollutants, reducing air pollutions, the rusting problem. What is air? Air is all around us, but we cannot see it. So, what is air exactly? It is a mixture of different gases. This layer of gases around the earth is called air. Air is the earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere is the blanket of gas around the earth. Air around us is a mixture of many gases and dust particles. It is the clear gas in which living things breathe and live. It has an indefinite shape and volume. It has no color, no smell. It has mass and weight because it is matter. The weight of air creates atmospheric pressure. There is no air in outer space. What is in air? Look at these pie charts. This pie chart shows composition of clean dry air, which contains 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, the remaining 1% mainly argon, carbon dioxide, water vapor and small amount of noble gases. The composition of air changes very slightly from day to day and place to place. As we have seen in the previous pie chart, the main components of air are nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen is a very important substance which is needed for plant growth. Farmer add fertilizer containing nitrogen to their crops to increase crop growth. You will learn this in detail in the next chapter. Oxygen is an amazing substance that is also has a variety of application in our day-to-day life. Every living creature requires oxygen to survive. In addition to this, there are commercial uses of oxygen and nitrogen. Oxygen is used in steel making, welding and breathing apparatus. In hospital, patients with breathing problems are given oxygen through an oxygen mask. Nitrogen is used in food packing, the production of ammonia and in the production of silicon chips. It is also used in industries for purging the combustible and poisonous gases. Fractional distillation. Separation of individual gases from air is fractional distillation. Air is a mixture of gases. Most of them are useful for us. But these gases separated from each other by method called fractional distillation. This method works because the gases in air have different boiling point. So, when liquid air warmed up, these gases boils at different temperature and can be collected one by one. Air is pumped into the plant and filtered to remove dust particle. Then air is cooled to minus 200 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, air is in liquid state. First, when air is cooled, water vapor condenses and it is removed by absorbent filtration. Carbon dioxide is then removed at minus 79 degrees Celsius when it freezes. Oxygen liquefies at minus 183 degrees Celsius, argon liquefies at minus 186 degrees Celsius and nitrogen liquefies at minus 196 degrees Celsius. The liquid nitrogen, oxygen, argon separated by fractional distillation. This liquid mixture then passed into fractionating column. Then it is gently warmed. Temperature rises from minus 200 degrees Celsius to minus 196 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, nitrogen boils off and is collected separately. When it reaches minus 186 degrees Celsius, argon boils off and it is collected separately. When it is reaches minus 183 degrees Celsius, the oxygen boils off and is collected separately. Everyone likes clean and fresh air. But every year we pump billions of tons of harmful gases in the air. Most of these harmful gases come from burning of fossil fuels. These fossil fuels are hydrocarbons. They contain only carbon and hydrogen. But some contain other elements such as sulfur. Fossil fuels provide us with energy for heating, transport and generating electricity. But there is a drawback. Burning them produces harmful compounds like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen and lead compounds. The main air pollutants. Look at this table. We have tabulated the main pollutants, how they are formed and what are their effects. First one is carbon monoxide. Incomplete combustion of fossil fuels like alkanes burn in too little air produces carbon monoxide. For example, inside car engine and furnace. Carbon monoxide is a highly poisonous gas. Even in low concentration, it reacts with hemoglobin in blood and prevents it from carrying oxygen around the body. So the person will die from oxygen starvation. The second one is sulfur dioxide. When sulfur compound in the fossil fuel burn, for example, in power stations are the main source of the pollutant. One of the important adverse effect of sulfur dioxide is the acid rain. That means sulfur dioxide dissolve in rain to form acid rain. The acid rain causes corrosion of metal structures, buildings, statues that are made up of carbonate rocks. Acid rain also affects aquatic organisms, pollute crops and water supplies and irritates eye, throat and causes breathing problems. The third one is oxides of nitrogen. Nitrogen and oxygen present in the air react together inside hot car engines and hot furnaces produces harmful nitrogen oxide similar to sulfur dioxide. The nitrogen oxides also dissolve in rain, result in acid rain and causes respiratory problem. The fourth one is lead compounds. A compound called tetraethyl lead which has used to be added to petrol to help it burn smoothly in car engines. It is still being added in some countries. On burning, it produces particles of other lead compounds. The lead compounds have adverse health effects. Lead damages children's brains and it also damages kidneys and nervous systems in adults. Reducing air pollution. There are several ways to reduce air pollution. Some of the most common ones are listed below. Number 1. In modern power stations, the waste gas is treated with slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide. This removes sulfur dioxide by reacting with it to give calcium sulfate. This process is called flue gas desulfurization. Here, sulfur dioxide reacts with calcium hydroxide to produce calcium sulfide and water. Sulfur dioxide is a acidic gas which reacts with calcium hydroxide. It is a base to produce salt and water. So, harmful sulfur dioxide gas is converted into a calcium sulfate. Number 2, most countries have banned lead in the petrol. So, air pollution due to lead has significantly reduced. Number 3, the exhaust of new cars are fitted with catalytic converters in which harmful gases are converted into harmless one. Catalytic converters in automobile. Look at this picture. Here, this is a catalytic converter. In petrol burns in the car engine, harmful gases are produced, including oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide and unburnt hydrocarbon from the petrol, these can cause major health issues like cancer. To tackle the problem, modern car exhaust contain a catalytic converter. In this, the harmful gases are adsorbed onto the surface of catalyst where they react to form harmless gases. The catalyst speed up the reaction. Chemical reactions in catalytic converter. Here, carbon monoxide is oxidized to carbon dioxide. Compared to carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide is a not polluted gas. Number 2, unburned hydrocarbons are oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. Number 3, nitrogen oxide or oxides of nitrogens are reduced to nitrogen gas and oxygen. Dear students, in this video, we will understand the function and use of catalytic converters. The catalytic converters are used in automobile. I will explain to you the necessity, function, location, construction and working of catalytic converter. The catalytic converter reduces the pollutants from exhaust gases which are resulted from burning of fossil fuel in automobiles. It is located in the flue gas exhaust way between the engine and the muffler. It is constructed with platinum or palladium catalyst, which is an oxidation catalyst. It is called oxidation catalyst because it helps to oxidize different gases in the exhaust. There are another layer of catalyst called reducing catalyst, which is made up of rhodium. It helps to reduction of exhaust gases and hence called reducing catalyst. As far as working principle of catalytic converter is concerned, at first the exhaust gases pass through oxidation catalyst. Here the hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, oxygen and nitrogen oxide gases in exhaust gas pass through it. Among these gases, hydrocarbon and oxygen combine to produce water molecules. These water molecules exhaust through silencer. Another reaction is between carbon monoxide and oxygen producing carbon dioxide, which exhausts through silencer but invisible. Thereafter, the exhaust gases pass through reducing catalyst. Here, the harmful gas nitrogen oxide reduces to form harmless nitrogen and oxygen, which are main component of atmospheric air. To conclude, in oxidation process, hydrocarbon and oxygen combine to form water. Carbon monoxide and oxygen combine to form carbon dioxide. And in the reduction process, nitrogen oxide converts into nitrogen and oxygen. Thus, the catalytic converter in automobile helps to reduce air pollution. The rusting problem. What is rusting? The reddish brown covering of flaky substance on iron objects is called rust. When an iron object is left in moist air for a considerable time, rust is formed. Rust occurs when iron or its alloys such as steel corrode. The surface of a piece of iron will corrode first in the presence of oxygen and water. Rusting is a chemical reaction between iron, water and oxygen that forms the compound iron oxide. Oxygen and water must be present for rust to occur. Rusting is a redox process and it occurs faster in salty water since in presence of sodium chloride increases the electrical conductivity of the water. Here iron reacts with water and oxygen to produce rust, that is hydrated iron oxide. Experiment to investigate rusting. Look at this picture. These are three test tubes. Here first test tube contains iron nail in the dry air. Here we have put calcium chloride to dry the air. Second test tube contains iron nail immersed in boiled water and layer of oil to keep out air. Third test tube contains iron nail, water and air. Leave these three tubes for several days. If you observe these tubes after several days, the nail in the test tubes 1 and 2 show no sign of rusting. But nail in the test tube 3 has rust on it. This is because rusting requires both oxygen and water. How to prevent rusting? Iron is the most widely used metal in the world for everything from needles to ships. But rusting destroys things. How to prevent rusting? We could use paint, grease or coating with another metal. For example, paint is used to protect steel bridges and railings. Grease and oil are used to protect tools and machine parts. We can also protect iron and steel from rusting by coating with another metal. For example, iron is coated with zinc by dipping it into molten zinc for roofing. Steel is electroplated with zinc for car bodies by galvanizing. Another example is foot tins. Steel is coated with tin metal by electroplating. We already studied galvanizing and electroplating in detail in electrochemistry. Now another method, let another metal corrode instead of iron. During rusting, iron is oxidized. It loses electrons. Magnesium is more reactive than iron, which means it has a stronger drive to lose electrons. So, when a bar of magnesium is attached to the side of the steel ship, the magnesium dissolves. It has been sacrificed to protect the iron. This is called sacrificial protection. Sacrificial protection, this also we studied in detail in electrochemistry. So dear students, let me summarize today's class. We have seen the composition of air, which is nitrogen, oxygen and other gases respectively 78%, 21% and 1%. We have discussed uses of oxygen and nitrogen. Mainly they are used for day-to-day life and commercial purposes. We have learned fractional distillation of liquid air using distillation column to separate oxygen, nitrogen and argon. We have also learned main air pollutants, which are carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen and lead compounds. They are mainly formed as a result of burning fossil fuels. We studied catalytic converter used for reducing air pollution. Last topic we learned today is the rusting problem, the different method to prevent rusting.